Hey everybody, it's Matt Brown, and we're going to look at Sifting. This is the last song that we need to look at for Bleach. So it's been a long run. It's been fun doing all the songs from this album. So to give you a preview of what's coming next, I'm going to finish up Incesticide and then kind of jump around to a lot of different songs and from different bands. So if any of you have requests, just maybe put them in the comments section and I'll add them to the list. Alright, so the way this one starts, we have pretty much this repetitious drum beat, and the bass and guitar come in and kind of double it. And all you're doing on guitar is palm muting your low string. So it's just your open E, and you're just doing eighth note rhythm with all downstrokes, so 1 and 2 and then you're resting on beats 3 and 4. Alright. So the next thing that comes in is the main riff, as I'm going to call it, the one that sounds like this. Alright, so what's going on is we're doing the low E notes, but we're only going to do 3. And then the next chord is an inverted F5 power chord. So I'm just doing that with my first finger, and I'm barring the 5th and 4th strings at the 3rd fret. So it's just a 4th interval, basically. Alright, then the next thing we do this. So again, we're using the low E as a pedal tone, and then this time we're starting at an inverted E5, which is at the 2nd fret. Same kind of fingering and shape and everything. And we're going to slide that down to the 1st fret. And then play the open A and D strings. Or open 5th and 4th strings. So the whole riff again is... Alright, then what happens is the next time the riff is played, the first measure you get... And then the next measure, the guitar just does, and then the bass finishes the riff kind of on its own without the guitar. Okay, and so then that repeats, so... And that's where the vocals come in. And then from this point, as the vocals are going, the guitar part remains consistent, and you just get... Alright, so that continues through the verse, and that takes us to the pre-chorus, and the pre-chorus is just a one-measure thing that's repeated over and over again. So this is where he's doing the teacher said, you rise, preacher said, you rise, or whatever the lyrics are. So what we're going to do is... So that's your low E. And then we're going to do an inverted G5 power chord at the 5th fret. So that is strings 5 and 4. And again, I'm just using my first finger to bar both of them. And then on the end of 4, there's a little slide out downward. So, okay, alright, let's move on. So, as a lead into the chorus, the last time the pre-chorus riff is played, there's no slide down. He just goes, or holds that note out, or chord out rather, and then go into the chorus, which is... So it's just that riff that repeats. It's a one-measure thing over and over again. So what we're doing is we're playing a C chord. So that's on the inner 4 strings, middle 4 strings. 3, 5, 5, 5. Just fretted with your 1st and 3rd fingers. And then, so we have this rhythm. And then that last note I played there was the low open E string. And then you're going to do some bends on your low string at the 5th fret. So that's a bending with the 3rd finger up a full step. Sorry, a little flat there. And then you're going to bend again, but that time, the next time, release it. So you get... And then the last part is kind of coming down your pentatonic scale there. So that's 5, 3, open, open. You want to make sure you get those bends dead on in tune, because the vocal melody is singing the same notes, 2 octaves higher, but, so you want to make sure that there's no rub with the pitch there, or else, you'll get that kind of like killing a cat kind of a sound. So that riff is played a total of 7 times, and the last time, the 8th time, instead of doing the full thing, we just get this. And we're back into the main riff. So all that is some power chords. So you're starting with a C5. That's 3 strings, 3, 5, 5, and then an A note in between the chords as a transition, and then the next chord is a B5. So that's 2, 4, and 4, and you're gonna hold that out until you go back to the main riff. So that goes back through another verse, another pre-chorus, another chorus, and then after the second chorus, we get the guitar solo. I'm gonna kind of break the solo down piece by piece, since there's a lot of techniques that we'll need to look at along the way. So here is the first, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. About first 8 or 9 bars or so. So here we go. Alright, so it starts with just a half step bend at the 11th fret. And you let that release back down. Now the next thing he does is he bends the 5th string up a full step, and he bends the string down towards the floor, like so. And then his 3rd finger catches the 4th string, and you want to pick that string then. And so, since it's caught under the 5th string, it's a little bit sharp and out of tune and kind of noisy. And then the next thing that you're going to do is just hit the 5th string again and let it release back down. So that's the kind of sound he's getting there. So every other time, instead of doing that, he just bends the 5th string. So I was a little flat. And put some vibrato on it. So you'd get something like this. That kind of thing. Alright, so the last measure of this little mini section is just another 11th fret bend on your 3rd string. So you have 1 and 2, and then kind of sliding out on that note. Alright, the next measure, we have this chromatic thing. So you have some pitch harmonics played on open, 2, 3, and 4. So it's kind of like a E minor blues scale thing. Then he continues to go chromatically. That's 5, 6, and put some vibrato on those. So, all right. Okay, so I'm going to play that measure, the pinch harmonic thing, into the next phrase, so you have some context. So... Okay, so that's 7, 7, 9, 9. And then we're going to do a pull off from 9 to 7 and then to open. And like a sextuplet type deal. And then that's open B to A at the 2nd fret. And then we're going to do, so that's a pull off from 2 to 0, ending on the root E with some vibrato. So... Alright, so the next phrase comes in the middle of that measure, so it comes in on beat 3, and this is kind of like a messy, noisy thing played with some double stops. So here's how this goes. Alright, so doing a pull off, 2 to 0. And then we're playing this double stop on the 3rd and 2nd strings at the 5th fret. Alright, then we're going to slide it down. So slide from 5 to 4, and then 4 to 2. And then you're going to play an open B, then an A note. So... Alright, now the next idea is just some pentatonic stuff. So, bending the 2, or the A note. And then the next bend he does, it's kind of like he bends it, releases it, and then he like bends it up a tiny bit more after that while he's sliding. So, something like that, and it's noisy and messy, and, it's not supposed to sound like nice, I guess. Okay, the next thing is a little Dorian thing that sounds like this. So that's open on your 2nd string, then to 12, and you're bending the 14th fret up a half step. And then you're playing the 14th fret again with some vibrato. Alright, so I'll play the next idea for you. Alright, so doing a pull off, 14, 12, to open, and then your 12th fret on your 3rd string. So that's the first idea. I'll do this slow here. 1, 2, ready, go. Alright, then the next thing we get is something that we saw in blue. What we're doing is bending the 17th fret of the 2nd string up a full step and catching the 3rd string underneath the same finger. And that basically bends the 3rd string a half step. I sound like this. Like that. And then the phrase resolves to 7th fret note on your 3rd string, your D note. Alright, now the next idea is kind of weird. He does this. But when he bends this 9th fret note, it sounds like he's getting the open A string in there by accident. Something like that. So that's the idea there. Alright, the next idea is so kind of like a muted thing, and then some open 4th and 3rd strings, bending the 14th fret up a whole step and let it come back down, and then you're doing a 12, 9 open pull off. Alright, now the next idea, a Phrygian thing. So this is all played on your 3rd string. 7, 9, 10. And then the 10 slides back to the 7 to an A note there at the 2nd fret. So I can kind of combine this from with the previous idea. All right, then pretty much the way the solo ends is you're bending this 12th fret and doing that kind of thing again. What he does though, the first time just a full step bend. The next time it's a step and a half. And then you get the those kind of sounds. The last time he does it is so just a bend and then that's a G chord played on your 4th, 3rd, and open 2nd strings. So that's the way the solo ends. And you're back into the pre-chorus. Alright, so then that takes you to the chorus, and the song ends with the... You're basically doing a fermata or a hold on that final B5 chord of the chorus to end the song and close it out. Alright, so this is one I'm guessing you guys are going to want the transcription for, especially for the solo. So, just hit me up. Email address is in the description, or you can find it at the top of my YouTube page. So, please subscribe. Hope you guys are enjoying this, and got some more from Incesticide and some new stuff like some Soundgarden, some Jane's Addiction, and some other stuff that you guys requested. Alright, thanks for watching.